Let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what...
Welcome everyone back to Wrestling with Politics. My name is Joel Perez, and today I'm very excited to talk to you guys about the most recent presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Now, for some, in many aspects, this was a very interesting debate. In other ways, this was a more standard, boring debate, definitely compared to the last debate we saw between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, where you saw Donald Trump deliver the knockout blow to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden was completely replaced as the Democratic nominee. As compared to that debate, there were no knockout blows landed in this debate. And if you did support Kamala Harris before this debate, you probably still support Kamala Harris. And if you supported Donald Trump before this debate, you probably still support Trump as well. But what's clear after watching this debate for certain is that we have two candidates here who are going to preserve the status quo, because Kamala Harris continued with her same word salad and her same lying tactics that she always comes to the game with. And Donald Trump, as much as one would hope that Donald Trump has perhaps escaped these deep state forces that have been working so hard to take him out, he's still unable to dismantle Kamala Harris and call her out for what she actually truly is, which is a corporatist, warmongering neocon who needs to be stopped from getting to the White House by any means necessary. And there were a lot of opportunities in this debate for Donald Trump to hold Kamala Harris's feet to the fire. But unfortunately, those opportunities turned into missed opportunities really quickly, because Kamala Harris did come to this debate with the same old bag of tricks, vague platitudes and non-answers that don't really mean anything. But Donald Trump failed to call that out. And as vague and meaningless as those answers are, those are answers that are carefully designed by Democratic elites and staffers in the back for low information voters who don't really know any better. And I'm not gonna lie to you, during this entire debate, the moderators were stacked in Kamala Harris's favor. I don't believe I only heard Kamala Harris get asked one tough question, and we're about to cover that question, in this entire debate. And Donald Trump, he should be used to this. He should have called that out, as he always does, but he failed to do so. And that was only a few of the many missed opportunities that I saw from Donald Trump to call out Kamala Harris in this debate. And this is one of the few opportunities that Donald Trump is going to get to do that, because as we all know, Kamala Harris doesn't do many of these interviews and debates. But for some reason, after this debate, it's Donald Trump who doesn't want to do another debate with Kamala Harris, and it's Kamala Harris calling for another debate with Donald Trump. So this debate has definitely turned the tides of some things in this election, and there's a lot to talk about for sure. So let's not waste any more time here, and let's get straight into the first clip of this debate.
Both here tonight.
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs for assault weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported decriminalizing border crossings. Now you're taking a harder line. I know you say that your values have not changed. So then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
So my values have not changed, and I'm going to discuss every one of at least every point that you've made. But in particular, let's talk about fracking, because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking.
And Kamala Harris, in the very first moments of this debate, the only hard question that she was asked the entire debate, she reveals exactly who she's speaking to. It's not the American people. And she also reveals why she's so hard to read for Donald Trump. Because yes, Kamala Harris has come out on the exact opposite side of this issue before. She's come out in favor of banning fracking before. And the entire Democratic Party for a long time now has pretended to be pro-environment. But this proves that that's bullshit. And Kamala Harris came out and revealed exactly who she was speaking to in this debate. It's not her voters. It's not the people, the millions of Americans watching at home, but it's the donors. It's her Wall Street donors who she's speaking to when she's answering this question. And she's letting them know that while she's president, they don't have to worry about anything changing. They don't have to worry about their profits being harmed because everything will remain the same. The status quo will be preserved with Kamala Harris as president. You can be damn sure of that. And when she was answering this question, she was being very clear and very specific to let the billionaires who have bought her campaign know that Kamala Harris is open for business.
President Trump, your
Well, first of
response?
all, I wasn't given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn, Queens, and a great father, and I learned a lot from him. But I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built it into many, many billions of dollars, many, many billions. And when people see it, they are even surprised. So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police, she's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this. She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one.
And Donald Trump cuts a good promo there, as he always does. But to be quite honest, this is where my core disagreements with Donald Trump in this debate begin. He describes Kamala Harris throughout this debate as this crazy left, radical liberal. He calls her a communist, but then later in the debate, he offers her a MAGA hat and says that she has come over to his side. He repeatedly insinuates that Kamala Harris has switched her belief on these issues, but this whole dynamic almost seems to have Donald Trump confused, because Kamala Harris is only pretending that she is this progressive queen and that she will actually deliver on things like a $6,000 child tax credit. She's only pretending to offer new homeowners a $25,000 tax credit. She's only pretending to offer small businesses $50,000 to start up. And the truth is that Kamala Harris will sell you out for $1. The moment she gets your vote, she gets into office, every single one of those issues will be forgotten. All you need to do to know that is just listen to the words of billionaire Kevin O'Leary.
What I've been doing, and others in the investment community are doing the same thing, we're going directly to her advisors to try and glean some information about what's really going on here. I'm not going to disclose their names because I don't want to lose access to them, but I've been doing a lot of that in the last week. And so let me give you an example. In querying about this idea of taxing unrealized capital gains, which would basically destroy the economy and change the way every investor would invest and chase capital out of the country. I've been told, listen, don't worry about it, just be happy. There's no way Congress would ever pass that. She has to keep saying that to keep her base happy, to bring people out to vote for her, but that's not going to happen, don't worry about it.
And quite a revealing clip there from Kevin O'Leary, who reveals why you can't trust anything that Kamala Harris says, because it's the same old Democratic Party playbook. Say one thing in public to win over people's votes, but as soon as you get into office, abandon all of that and stop talking to voters and make sure that the billionaires get everything that they want.
And what Donald Trump should have said during this debate is to call out Kamala Harris for what she truly is. She's a corrupt, fascist, neoconservative who may pretend to give lip service to left-wing issues in order to win over left-wing voters, but truly, Kamala Harris doesn't give a damn thing about that. And what I can say for certain will be the case when Kamala Harris is president is that things will remain the same. And what I mean by that is that gas prices and the prices at the grocery store will continue to go up. The children of Palestine will continue to get bombed. And unfortunately, we will only get closer and closer to nuclear war with Russia. But one thing will be for certain though, corporate profits will be through the roof. And that's exactly why Kamala Harris is the favorite of the billionaires. Don't believe me? Well then why does Kamala Harris in this very same debate tout the endorsement of over 200 Republicans? It's because those Republicans know that whether or not Donald Trump or Kamala Harris become president, the deep state is still gonna get what they want anyways. And that's why we must make sure to not be fooled, because we do have other options on this presidential ticket. And we will be talking about those other options in the upcoming video, talking about Jill Stein's interview with The Breakfast Club. If you want to stay tuned for that interview, make sure to stay tuned to Wrestling with Politics, and make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching this video.